Hello all, in today's video we will see a basic understanding of Sitecore JSS project code structure, where we will understand where the components, definition, templates or the code structure, like whatever is related to code and you should know as a Sitecore developer. We will discuss that part in this project. Let's start. So I will open Visual Studio right now. I have also opened my local host, and this is my site code. So if you see, after we have connected it, uh, you can see JSS project has been exported, or you can say imported to our site code. So let's see how this works. So as soon as you open your site core JSS project in React, you will specifically see two differences there, or I will say one, which is different from regular React setup, which you can see in our site code, okay, folder. So this folder is an extra addition in and is different from what we see in a regular React project. So we will try to understand what are all these folders, how this particular default page is coming up from Sitecore.js side. So let's start. So overall, if I say there are three folders which are very important. Let's start with data. What is there in this data folder? So we do have something called as content, okay, and we do have something called as dictionary. Dictionary is like your normal key value pair. Like we define keys and value, so it's similar to like that. Like whatever key you define here and whatever value you define here, you need to have the same key value in Sitecore dictionary also. For example, what I'm trying to say, if you come here and see within dictionary, there are four items. See, documentation, GraphQL, right? And where are these four items from? Where these have come up from here? Okay, there are these four items, and this is from where it has come up. Later on, when you will keep on adding a new keys for your dictionary key value, either you have to export it from the code side, or you have to manually create this in the Sitecore instances. So any dictionary which you will create here in the code, you have to put also in the Sitecore, right? Next is our, okay, again there are two things, DADK.YML and EN.YML. So this is by default for German language, and this is by default for English language. If you add more languages for your site, you need to add more YML files here with the language specific code. Right? Next, which is important, is routes folder here. This is the most important folder, I will say. Okay, so what happens in routes? We do have German and English language. So if you see here, there are some fields. There are some within these fields. There are some fields defined. We do have some placeholders, JSS main. Then there is a component name. Then within that component name, we have fields, and there are some static values defined here in this field. So before I come to this point, let me explain you to how this works. So let's go to the Sitecore folder. If you go here and check in definitions, there is something called as components. Okay, so let's see content block sitecore.js. So what you can see here, that there is the name of this component is content block, and template name is content block. Within this we do have two fields, heading and content. So you can understand this or correlate this with our Sitecore templates. In Sitecore templates, how we define fields, likewise we have to define fields in under Sitecore within definition component nodes. Any new template which we create within Sitecore, likewise we have to create it from the React side here in this structure. We will see in our following videos how we can create a new template, but what I am showing you right now is the existing page which we are seeing up here, how it's coming. Okay, so we do have two fields, heading and content, in the content block. Okay, and if we go further, src components, here also there is a content block and index.js. So what we can see here, say this is your regular HTML kind of rendering. So what we have seen within Sitecore definition components is your template. You can relate it with your template. Like for a Sitecore page, what do we need? First, we need a template. Then we need a Sitecore page which is created using that template, and then we need a component, right, or rendering. Likewise, here also in this structure, because it's the same thing. We are here using the code first approach where we are developing the code on React side and then moving it to the Sitecore side. So here also we need to create those templates, renderings, and the page items. So you can understand it in this way, that within Sitecore definition component, this is your template where you have to define fields, okay, and within SRC components here you have to define the HTML architecture, like how the rendering will happen. So this is your component or rendering. So here the content title and content description, heading and content, from where these fields are coming up. These fields are coming up from the components here defined in the content block. See, heading and content. Now what we are going to do here in the routes, what we are doing, see, let's start with here. So we have defined that boss, okay, there is a placeholder which you have to use in this page, okay, this is home page, this is home page, and in the home page, just try to relate it with our Sitecore structure, okay. So we do have a placeholder. What is the name of the placeholder? The name of the placeholder is JSS main. And what component is defined under JSS main? The component name is content block. And within these components, what we are defining static values. What you are seeing here is static value. And why I am saying that we are using static value? Because we need this from the React side to, we need a static architecture, or we need a static structure to show up, like how the website will look up. When it will get connected, it will take this data from the Sitecore side, but when it's in disconnected mode, it needs to show some data or some structure or some lining or the content. From where it will show? It will show from the static content. So these, whatever we defined within React as a content is a Sitecore content, and it is a static content. And when we actually connect it in a connected mode, all these contents come from the Sitecore side rather than coming from the um, React React side. So as a React developer, this needs to be shown up on my machine so that I can develop the website or the pages accordingly. So all these are static data. If we are going to make any change here, this will get reflected up here. But when it's in connected mode, any change that I will do here in the home page components content block, this change will get reflected here. For an example, if I right now I'm in connected mode, see, I'm typing 111, okay, saved it, and now I will publish it. So let's refresh this one. See, it's in connected mode, so it's showing up the data from the Sitecore. But if I connect it in a disconnected mode, if I just simply use the project code, it will use the static content which is defined within this React project. So overall, if we understand, so we do have definitions which is like your templates, okay, this is like your templates, let's say templates here, okay, templates where we define fields. We do have components where we define the HTML structure, or we can call it as rendering. And we do have routes where we define the placeholders, and we define the static value of these definitions templates fields, right? So let's rewind what we have understood. So when we design any page, for designing we need a template. Template is defined within Sitecore definition components. Here we define the fields and the fields type. Okay. Next is we define the structure, HTML structure or the components or renderings, which is under the SRC folder and the components folder. Here we define this structure or the HTML look alike, how it will look, and the static value for these gates populated from the routes which is defined within data and this one. Okay, so this is my one page. Within this page I am using a placeholder, JSS main placeholder, and I am saying to Sitecore or the node server to use content block as a component, and their field should be this one and the field value should be this one. This is all what is about how this how Sitecore JSS works in a disconnected mode or connected mode. If you want to explore more, you can actually expand the Sitecore, and here you can see the placeholders settings as well. Like we do have a JSS main, the one that we were seeing in our routes folder. So we do have a JSS main, we named it as a main. If you want to add a new placeholder like how we used to add in Sitecore in the React side, you can define it here on the placeholder Sitecore.js. You can actually add a new placeholder here, and if you want to use it within the content, you can actually, instead of this placeholder, you have to use the other one that you have created. So this is overall how it works. In our next video we will actually create a new component. We will see how a new component can be created, and we will try to assemble a new page. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you are liking the Sitecore JSS series. Please do subscribe to the channel and keep on watching and sharing. Thank you.